All right, got an interesting one here from Super Ramy. Haven't like seen this guy's videos before. Apparently, a million views before. Why it sucks to be born as a Saiyan. It's always gonna pre-fire a little like, and we're gonna watch the video. If we mess with it, we're gonna subscribe, hit that noti bell. But pre-fire a little like. This is gonna be one Saiyan versus 20 Frieza supporters. Jubilee parody. Talk to me. Talk to me, G.
I am Vegeta, the prince of all Saiyans, and today I'm surrounded by 20 Frieza supporters. My first claim is simple. There's no excuse. Serving Frieza makes you evil automatically.
Crazy claim.
You say
Laser beams of doom.
everyone who worked for Frieza is evil, no exception. Doesn't that make you a hypocrite?
I'm speaking from experience. I had to learn that lesson the hard way.
Oh, please. No one here benefited more from the Frieza Force than you, Vegeta. You lived off his
His race
empire
got
for
destroyed,
years.
gang.
He favored you, treated you like his golden boy, and you used that to boss.
No, he didn't. The Dorian Zarbon, even the Ginyu Force were above Vegeta. Holy L argument, bro. He was just the least monkey to Frieza, bro.
Everyone around, even us. You are as bad as Frieza, maybe even worse. And now, you come here acting like we are the villains? Vegeta,
accent.
between all of us here combined, our body count is still probably smaller than yours. We are not evil, Vegeta.
Vegeta's kill count, yeah, we know. However, given Vegeta's royal status and long history of conquest, but alright, bro.
The universe is evil. We are just trying to find a place in
Keep
it.
telling yourself that. But the reality is
Objection.
that you're just cowards, terrified of change. Yes, I had a horrible past, but at least I own up to it. I don't let it define me. I move forward and try to be better every day. Instead of
shit.
using my past as an excuse, use
Is this still in like increased speed? It is.
what I'm trying to be now as an
There's his voice.
If you really want a place in this harsh universe, the first thing you should do is stop living like a slave and leave
Facts.
Frieza's empire.
Oh yeah? Just quit the Frieza Force and everything
not that
will
easy.
magically works out. Well,
Yeah.
guess what, Vegeta? Not everyone can just leave and go bang a billionaire,
Don't you
play
dare talk
family
about
man,
my wife.
and live rent-free on Earth and hang out with gods like you. Gods who, by the way, other we in this universe is rigged against people like us. But sure, Prince Privileged here is gonna lecture us about good and
You
evil.
can keep throwing your sad little personal attacks at me and blame everyone but yourselves for the choices you make every day. But it doesn't change the truth.
Talk to him.
All of you
Mickey
are pathetic
D's.
cowards. You slaughter innocent people, children, just to impress a
I'm
tyrant
not
who
trying
will
to
throw you
please
away
him,
the
I'm just
second you
trying
mess
to
up.
survive.
You say you're doing it to save yourself. No, you sold yourself the second you decided to be his dog.
So your claim is that you can't be in the Frieza Force without being evil? Then what about me? I'm not a fighter. I'm a doctor. I've never killed anyone. In fact, I've saved lives. Do you still call that evil?
Everyone who knowingly supports Frieza's rule of terror.
I don't know, that's kind of crazy because like some doctors, like think about Hacksaw Ridge. I think that's the name of the movie where like Andrew Garfield played like Doss. People that are on the enemy side view us as evil. So him helping those people was like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it makes him evil, but like, how do I put this? I think it's a reasonable take to be a doctor and go like, nah, bro, I swear to oath, everybody gets saved, even if they villains. You can't put that on me that like, you saved someone's life and they went to go commit this crime. You're a bad person. I'm a doctor, gang. I'm under oath. You feel me? So it's like, I don't know. I think that's kind of crazy to like take a doctor and go, oh yeah, bro, you evil, bro. You evil because you work for this guy, when it's like, okay, if I leave this guy, I die and I can no longer save more lives. In, you know, not GTA, but DBZ. Why you Wu Yanging? What is it talking about? You just Wu Yanged me? No healing? What is this yapping
Is
about?
guilty. Even the guy scrubbing the floors on Frieza's ship is choosing to surrender to evil.
I didn't get a janitor, bro. What if he's on some science? He lived his life going, I can never see a dirty floor. I don't want anyone living in poor sanitation conditions. It don't matter that this is a galactical tyrant. And, bruh, I don't want nobody living in those terrible conditions.
Instead of
I'm a doctor.
resisting it.
Saving lives is evil to you?
If the lives you're saving belong to genocidal monsters who will go out tomorrow and burn
I need healing, no damage.
an innocent
Straight
planet
up.
to ash, then yes, that's very...
Just popping up on
I don't
screen
only
too.
treat fighters.
This
I
is what they
treat
be,
all kinds of
this is what they be doing. This is what they be doing in chat, YouTube. Y0 for 70.
workers,
Straight
even
up.
their families. Sometimes I even save survivors from the planets we raid. I've seen children, refugees.
Commonly retained for forced labor. Ah, true. Like, they're talking crazy to Chila. Like, that's the problem with this empire. It's tyrannical. So some of the people aren't serving because like he's saying you surrendered yourself to him. You either get destroyed or you get recruited. I mean, sure, there's probably some people filling out applications to be a Frieza Force officer, right? But at the end of the day, most people, it's kind of like the girl who was like heralding Galactus and Fantastic Four. A little bit of spoilers, but this is how the story goes anyway. In most cases, my planet was going to get destroyed. I sacrificed myself to bro. I work for bro now. My planet saved. That's not a ridiculous thing to say. I mean, in this case, it may be more selfish. Like, I'm going to destroy your whole planet anyway, but you get to survive. And then your family get to survive too. You can bring them with you. Type situation. It's kind of cooked. But it's based off power. If someone stronger than Frieza came and defeated them and took everything over, they're not going to complain. Man, I want to go back to robbing and killing. No one's going to say that, bro. They just have this new leader. They listen to whatever his values are. They're going to kiss his ass, suck up to him, what have you. So I don't think it's everyone under Frieza's evil. There are people under him that can be evil and twisted just like him. But it's Frieza's evil, and that pollution impacts the people who literally are afraid of him.
People who wouldn't have made it without me.
Frieza, helping survivors of his own massacres. You expect me to swallow that?
I lived it. Look, I know Frieza isn't perfect, but in this universe, you're either with him or against him. I chose to stand with him while trying to do as little harm as possible, and I even managed to do good.
Pathetic. That mindset, be a victim or be a servant, is the lie you've swallowed whole. That's not
Lie?
survival. It's surrender. You could have chosen to fight, chosen to...
The reason that's fried is even though Vegeta was working under Frieza with the attempts to usurp him and destroy his empire, he was still a bitch because he wasn't strong enough to beat Frieza. The way he's making his argument sound is almost as if like, man, you were a bit for not destroying him off the rip. He's making it sound like, oh yeah, you think you can either be a victim or a servant? You a bit. When Vegeta had to be a servant until he became strong enough to make Frieza the victim. And that was Goku who did that. You feel me? It's like very reductionist to make it seem like you believing you have only those two options makes you a bad person. I think it's more of a like, until they do something that brings them past that point, they're not lying. Those are their only two options. You feel me?
scrape out a life on your own terms. A life outside the Empire may be harsh.
A life outside
But anyone
the
with
Empire.
even a shred of self-worth...
Vegeta, you don't understand how miserable the universe is. I spent 40 years studying medicine, learning the anatomy of hundreds of species just to help people. On my third world planet, I was unemployed, ignored. I traveled across the galaxy for a single opportunity. Nothing. The only place that gave me a chance to follow my passion with the technology I needed was the Frieza Force, and they paid me well. I'm not a slave. I'm thriving.
All you greedy bastards care about is money and comfort. You don't care whose bones get crushed beneath your paychecks.
See, but he's not saying like what Frieza does is okay because I get paid. See, that's why some of these debating arguments fry me. It's like you're just trying to appeal to emotion here. You're trying to make me think he's a villain somehow when what he said was, "Nah, the universe is crazy. I was barely surviving in a third world country, and no one would hire me when I could save people. So my only option at the time was to work for this guy, and at least I could save people, even though he's a villain." And the only other option, if I refused him, was most likely me dying. It's like breathe. Like if I told you every breath you take results in like every 5 breaths you take results in someone like getting cooked in GTA, would you stop breathing? You try, but you're human. You're eventually going to pass out. When you pass out, your body's most likely going to start breathing for you automatically because you need to survive. And by the time you wake up, hundreds of people just got fried. Does that make you a villain for breathing? I don't think so. You couldn't control that. Only other option you had would be take your life there in GTA, right? And if you did, I think that'd be honorable. I don't think it's stupid to sacrifice yourself for other people, but I don't think that noble thing has to be considered the minimum, if that makes sense, because then it elevates everyone to having to do this thing, which you can view as a good thing. Like, oh, it elevates, it forces people to improve, but then it kind of gets like this Viltrumite point where like everyone's sacrificing themselves, and then all you're left with is like, yeah, the best of the best, which like it's kind of cool. But if from the beginning I proposition, all right, bro, what if we just slime out everybody who's not worthy? You would go, no, that's no different, except it's just happening without you being a conscious controller of it. You don't think you're a conscious contributor to essentially thinning the population when you are by holding everyone to these standards. And anyone who isn't is like, you know, either shunned or packed up. You feel me? It makes you no different than the other tyrant. It's just because you have no active control over it, you see it as like, I'm innocent type situation. And anyone's going to say they're innocent unless you're genuinely doing what you're doing out of like intent of evil like Frieza.
As long as you're fed.
Vegeta, you can't tell us not to care about money when you've been literally sponsored all your life. You were a prince, then Frieza's prodigy, and now you're the in-law of the richest family on Earth. You're in no position to come down here and tell those of us who are struggling that we shouldn't care about it.
The same tired argument. You're rich, so you don't...
See, I don't like that. I don't like that rebuttal to Vegeta, because he did suffer, he did live as like a warrior. So I don't like that argument of like, oh yeah, you've been spoon-fed your entire life, you have no right to speak on this. That is like, if someone's doing wrong on a different planet or something, and I just casually comment on it, and they go, bro, you're not even from this planet, bro, shut your mouth. What, bro, you're packing people up. I can generally, I'm gonna say genuinely, a mixture of both. I can generally and genuinely say that that's wrong, bro.
Don't understand. Pathetic. Money might not have been my problem, but don't you dare tell me I've never suffered. I know what it means to be broken, to be humiliated, to have everything stripped away. And yet, I stood back up. Not because it was easy, not because I had wealth, but because I had pride. You say you heal people? Then heal yourself first. Rip out the cowardice inside you. Every soldier you mend makes Frieza stronger. Every life you save fuels the Empire's slaughter.
That was tough.
You're not saving lives. You're trading a few survivors for millions dead. My second claim is that the Frieza Empire is the reason our universe is in such a miserable state.
Hard to believe. You fought gods,
WD
demons,
voice.
creatures that could erase existence itself. And you really saying that Frieza is worse than all of them?
Yes, I am. Those cosmic threats came and went, but none of them chained entire generations in fear the way Frieza did. Frieza wasn't just bad for populations on a personal level. He was poison to the universe itself. He is the reason our universe is ranked so low.
Let me fraud.
Then how do you explain that our universe was ranking better during Frieza's reign?
He's not a fraud.
That's just a lie.
That's facts. Even your god friend admitted that the fall of the Frieza Force lowered our universe standing.
So Immortal levels quality of life and development. Yeah, I mean power level doesn't matter, because like instead you can create an empire opposite of the Frieza Empire. It's like kind of like the Viltrum Empire, minus to like we come in and take over. Think of it like the Persian Empire. We come in, you kind of come under our control, but it's like we allow you to keep your own cultures and stuff. The only thing we ask is that you like come to us in time of need. And because you can see we're doing good things, that time of need is probably going to be us trying to help a place that's in a similar position that you were just in, that we pulled you out of. So it's like, yeah, the very same way Goku or someone, I mean, Goku has too much other things he's doing because he's like the top of universal threats. But let's say someone like Krillin takes a spaceship and starts going around, and like he starts forming this empire where they become, now it's Krillin, so you would think they're weaker, but some of these Frieza grunts is getting cooked by fucking Piccolo's weighted clothes. So it's like, take someone like Krillin and have them go and teach people, and then have them pull people from like Yardrat, people that have taught Goku, people who have Namekian with the ability to unlock potential, and have them go and literally help these populations, give them new technology, show them a different way to be. You feel me?
What matters is that people across the galaxy say their lives was harsher and their Frieza, yes, but at least they were stable. They had structure.
Surveys indicated that some populations felt life under Frieza was better. Post-inspection revealed most respondents defined better as being alive. Yeah.
Compared to the chaos after his fall, they were better off.
Better off. Better off under a tyrant who committed genocide for amusement.
And GTA.
The only ones who miss Frieza are the ones too afraid to imagine freedom. What they really miss is
what they
the
really could have done,
certainty of their chains.
Vegeta, you might not know this, but the Frieza Force wasn't just a colonial military organization. It was a core part of our universe's ecosystem. Not only did it provide millions of jobs, but entire businesses were built around it. Rules were made based on its existence. Planetary economies depended
What the
on
hell
their
are you
deals
even
with
talking
Frieza.
about? Are you really trying to say
He said,
that
what
Frieza
are you
was a
yapping
good guy?
about?
Even Frieza himself proudly admits and brags that he is the embodiment of evil. Everything Frieza ever did was only to benefit himself.
He said, take the wool out of your eyes. He admitted he was evil. What do you think you are doing defending us, man?
Without caring about who he
Yes,
destroyed.
of course, Frieza is not a good guy and his actions are purely selfish. But while being selfish, his actions were beneficial for a lot of people.
And harmful for a lot of others.
At its peak, the Frieza Force made groundbreaking technological advancements, built a universal economic system, and got rid of all competing warlords. At the very least, they gave the people one clear threat to adapt to, instead of the chaos happening like now.
Frieza didn't crush warlords. He recruited them. They were absorbed into his army and given exactly what they wanted in exchange for their loyalty at the expense of innocence.
And yet people lived.
He
They
didn't
adapted.
build economies. He exploited them. His so-called advancements were stolen from the worlds he conquered.
Yeah, I knew they were technologically good through scientists recruited from conquered worlds. However, recruited meant work for us or watch our planet explode. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, and that's another thing. It's not like this is Frieza coming up with these technological advancements. These are people under him. It's like, who says Bulma couldn't come up with these advancements, right? Who says, like, again, and it's like mythical Krillin situation where he's going and like helping planets. He doesn't have Bulma's dad on the ship, and they're like just helping other planets and developing technologically. Like, what if the Tuffles didn't get cooked? I think that was their name. They're like they were the rivals of the Saiyans, but purely because of their brain power. It's like you can't give, oh yeah, I've done something technological that I didn't do. It just happened as a result of me gathering smart people via threats, and go, yeah, I'm a good guy. I'm completely innocent. You know?
And only his empire benefited. I was there. I saw planets stripped of every resource until nothing was
And
left
their
but
Frieza,
corpses
there was at least one
and
threat to
dust.
understand,
Tell
one
me,
pyramid to
what
endure.
kind of
Now there is nothing
ecosins?
but chaos.
Let's be
That-
clear. Even Frieza
Cut that boy
himself
straight
would
off.
spit on the picture you're painting. He bragged about being the embodiment of evil. He never pretended to care about.
See, but I think this is the type of argument where the other guy's talking about the good that came from what Frieza did unintentionally, while Vegeta is just making a personal attack on the group by saying, this guy's evil. He's admitted to being evil. So you supporting him is bad, right? But he's not. He's taking it a step further, saying you were evil for supporting this guy. Not, yo, it'd be better to push your eggs in a better basket. You are inherently evil for supporting this guy. And that is where, like, I think a flaw comes in that argument.
Order or prosperity? If he heard you right now trying to make him sound like some galactic savior, he'd laugh in your face. He'd think you were making him look weak, and he doesn't tolerate weakness. Not from enemies, not from his own men. He'd kill you for it without a second
In GTA.
thought. My final claim is that me and Kakarot defeating Frieza proves that us, Saiyans, are the strongest warriors in the universe.
Glaze
Yeah,
claim.
that's what you care about. Everyone tells you they are struggling, and you only care about who's stronger. We don't care.
Oh yeah, all of you sure seem to care when you thought your leader Frieza was the strongest.
What are you talking about? I am not even in the Frieza Force. I'm
I
just
don't-
a
I don't
civilian.
put this hat.
And still, I support Frieza. You
I don't
know
mess with
why?
this hat.
Because you're an idiot?
Because I think you and your friends are the worst thing that happened to this universe.
Whoa.
You destroyed Frieza, left a giant power vacuum, and left people to struggle in pure chaos. At first, I thought that you were just too dumb to think.
Yeah, and again, it's like that happens when a huge head falls of any organization, and that is why, like, when it comes to Batman's no packing people up rule, yeah, there's like a bunch of reasons for it. There's times where he's broken it, you know, he's human, but I think one of the biggest things is like when something bad's happening and that encapsulates an entire group of people or a system. If you get rid of this thing, there's a lot more cleanup you have to do. And in the case of, let's just use Gotham as an example, he doesn't have the time to clean up what comes after getting rid of the Joker when there's other villains going on. They're not going to give him the time to do that, the freedom to do that. So though there's like this argument that, but this guy got money, but he could just put it into the system and develop the system. His counterpoint to that would be these people are corrupt. So unless, because it's based off reality to some extent. So unless there's some like universe where like, oh, I'm way smarter, or like I can get rid of this corruptness entirely, putting that money in doesn't help. Like there's a timeline where Joker becomes a politician. He's actually a really good guy. But you have to do it the political route. You have to take these corrupt people and make them think following you is a good thing, and then start doing good things. It's like the corruption's still there, and because Batman is not a political guy, you could argue he could do politics, but then you could argue anyone could do politics, right? So assuming he continues his career and what he does now, he's helping the best way that he can help, because any other way, it will require these extra steps, you know? And then it's just like an argument of like, how good are you if you don't want to go this extra route to do blah, 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 blah. And that's what this guy's kind of arguing. People who are directly impacted by whatever suffering comes from this group disappearing are going to look at you kind of sideways for not following up and going, oh, you know, what about the people being fed by this group? What about the people, what about the economy, right? It's like when people do like the wish, where they're like, oh, I wish I had $1 billion. And like that would just destroy the economy because money would lose its value. It's like you don't think about that. I wouldn't say you're a villain for not knowing. It's what you do after knowing. So if this person presents this to Vegeta and that whole idea I had with Krillin doesn't come into, you know, light, then that says something. And it's like you could argue, anyone can argue, what if Krillin don't want to do that? What if so-and-so don't want to do that? If no one wants to do the good things and I have this idea that can help, I'm not a bad guy for not implementing the idea when I don't have the time, because I'm the second strongest. I'm one of the strongest. I need to keep being there, or forget the chaos that is in the lower, like the street tier crimes. I won't be able to stop the universe ending crimes, and we're all cooked.
Think about that. But now that I'm hearing you talk, you and your friends are just a bunch of egotistical bastards
This is fried. You and your friends, what they do?
who don't care about anyone
I am
but
a
themselves.
warrior. My job is beating evil, not fixing the universe.
You are not even doing that right. You only cared about what you call evil when it stood in your way. The moment it wasn't hurting you, you didn't care. You never bothered to crush the remnants of his army after his death. They were unorganized, causing even more harm than he did. You didn't care about the groups that filled the gap when he left. You didn't care about the planets whose economies collapsed after him. And you call yourselves
And that's what's cooking it. They don't know because it's not as big. And then you create this cycle where you're doing good that is truly good and will lessen some of the suffering, but then there's gonna be people who still suffer and maybe even suffer worse because of it. And it creates this balance that the universe kind of stays in. And then it's like once those people grow big enough to reach where he was, you then have to stop those people, and then it becomes like a, assuming everything remains the same, like, oh, you're this guy, there's two people fighting for control, they start their own factions, and then you get rid of each of these guys, and then two more people spawn from each one of them. Now there's four. It becomes like a Hydra situation where you just keep cutting off the heads, and then like more and more grow to where like you never solve the problem.
Heroes.
I never called myself a hero.
Well, you're not, and you're not even a good guy. You could be helping millions of struggling people, but instead you keep chasing power to feed your own ego. How is that not evil?
I do whatever I want. I don't
do
owe
whatever I
you
want.
anything.
To be freedom.
We can't help everyone.
You literally can. Your wife keeps the strongest wish-granting artifact in her garage, and she uses them to get woof jobs
BBLs and
every
shit.
year
Yeah, that should be
instead of
crazy.
saving millions who are starving. You have the power to build your own empire and use it for good. You are friends with the literal gods of this universe. No one has more power than
Then
you
you
to
do.
help us, but
For
you
sure.
don't. That's why people like me choose to support Frieza. Because unlike you, he actually cares about building something. And people all across the universe are waking up. And they'd rather live under a dictator who at least makes a system, even if it benefits him, than trust you and your friends who don't care at all.
I feel like that's very like political, like subjectively, but I don't care about that type of stuff. So it all kind of went over my head. I'm gonna kind of give him a follow too. We'll see. We'll see if he's been posting good content and whatnot. But appreciate y'all boys for watching. As always, drink your water, stay healthy, stay hydrated. Catch you guys in the next. Peace.